So this is episode 10 of Historians in Cars Getting Coffee, and by an astonishing coincidence, because these are very rare, we're coming up to a McDonald's sign, and there's something you want to tell us.
It's one of the McDonald's signs here in Oak Ridge that I erected.
And was there anything particularly special about that one? I don't know if you can see that out the window. As McDonald's signs go.
It was a fairly standard lift, and we did maintenance on it for several years.
And I'm going to go for a segue,
okay,
which is that McDonald's is a global company.
It is a global company,
and obviously I have been struck here while sort of nosing around Tennessee history. That people might think, I'm sure nobody would voice this thought out loud, but some people in the world might think East Tennessee a bit of a backwater, and that not much happens here. And yet.
So I've always made the case, and I did in the conference, in fact, that East Tennessee history is global history. And there are several examples of this. I mean, I like to take my people through the entire kind of since first contact with the Cherokee and the Yuchi people, who are the native tribes here in East Tennessee, among others like the Creek, that if you consider the fact that the Cherokee and the other tribes were here, as well as the Spanish Empire, the British Empire, the French Empire, all came through and tried at one point or another to control the area of Tennessee, and particularly East Tennessee. And then moving into the 20th century, when you think of things like the establishment of the National Smokies Park,
yes,
followed by the establishment of TVA, which of course globally discussed the use of
the Tennessee Valley Authority I'm sure everybody does know that really, but it's always worth reiterating.
Well, yeah, especially now that there's a time variant something in the Marvel universe. I'm talking about the Tennessee Valley Authority, not...
It's just good to clarify that
one. not Loki. I'm not mentioning Loki. But, and of course, because of the use of the electrification programs of the TVA, it allowed for a lot of water and a lot of power to help with the Manhattan Project, which of course is changed the world.
And indeed, that's kind of an interesting question, because there is this story about the Manhattan Project and Oak Ridge National Laboratory, which is kind of told. You probably think we heard it at least once during the conference. And the story is that President Roosevelt called in the senator for Tennessee at the time, a very powerful man, and said, look, I've got this project which I need to get through Congress, but it's like nobody has got to know that we're spending the money or kind of what we're spending it on. Do you think you can help? And the senator says,
well, of course I'm happy to help, but where in Tennessee do you want to build this? Instantly saying that it would go to Tennessee, not to some other state. Now, that's a bit of an apocryphal story, but at least, the geography of this area lends itself, because of the rivers coming out of the Appalachian Mountains, to the creation of these lakes, to the creation of power structures that would generate electricity. I'm hoping...
Which, of course, was then absolutely crucial for the Manhattan Project.
Exactly, in order to develop that. And one of the things we've seen in the museums while we're in Oak Ridge that I think is quite interesting is exactly sort of the balance of, obviously the nuclear weapons wreaked terrible violence upon Japan.
Yeah.
But one of the narratives that you see here is, think of all the peoples whose lives and all that it saved and all the good that it did elsewhere. So, in terms of the isotopes, as Jenny was talking about earlier. So I think it's a very complex narrative, and it is one that's intricately linked to the history of East Tennessee. And it's a place, as so many other often times throughout history, going all the way back to the 1600s, where East Tennessee touches and alters global history.
Absolutely, and of course, the Manhattan Project has very much left its mark on the local area as well. Obviously both in terms of the environmental damage, which then had to be cleaned up, but also just in terms of the place name. So, we knew we were in the right zone when we came across Centrifuge Way, and then later on we saw Aluminum Street, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I think if I were ever to move to East Tennessee, I think I would move to Isotope Avenue.
Isotope Avenue, yeah. I mean, it's a great place. And we had the fantastic picture, which I'll put up later, of you touching the thing in your isotopes leaving your body and your hair standing out on end.
The Van de Graaff generator.
I don't know why I can't think of that. Yes, the Van de Graaff generator.
I'm just here to say Van de Graaff generator. Occasional moments.
But no, this is, it's been great to get back to Oak Ridge. We work with them very frequently, but it's been a real honor to bring Richard down here.
And so we will be back with one or possibly two more final episodes, at least for this trip, which we'll be making either later today or tomorrow. So thank you, everybody, and see you very soon.
And also, we just want to say, Christopher Nolan, please send us money.
More money.
More money.
Yeah,
the first check was great, but we need more.